1, 2. Spoiler.
Good. You never will.
Two-time world champ.
Divided in Kodo.
That's gonna do it.
Yeah.
I ain't got it.
The young guard, and we're hearing fans out here like, don't, in my opinion, there's a lot of you guys out here, man. I gotta be honest, like you just don't get it. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but let me just lay it out for you guys, man. Let me just be 100% honest. Like a lot of you just don't get it. Like it's not up to us to decide if a fight is ready to win or all that. Okay. Now we need to be reasonable. Like the guy doesn't throw professional, just throw him in there with the wolves, obviously. Okay. But so there's a process. But once a fighter, once he's a contender, and it's time for him to get his title shot, then it's time. That's it. And he might win, he might lose. We don't know. That's why we watch. That's the whole point. To watch a reigning champion fight a young, hungry contender. That's the whole point of the sport. Not all the young contenders win. That's what makes the ones that do win special. That's what made Ali beating Liston special. That's what made Salvador Sanchez beating Little Red Lopez special. There was something special about that, right? So Virgil Ortiz wants to fight Crawford. Well, I don't know if he's ready. How do you know? Let's do the fight. You may pick Crawford to win. That might be your prediction. And Crawford may very well win. But Ortiz has earned a shot. And it's time for him to get it. Right? Nobody thought young Cassius Clay, who later became Muhammad Ali, was going to beat Liston. He was a 7-1 underdog. Nobody thought he was going to win. We don't know what these kids are capable of until you put them on the bright lights, and you give them the opportunity, and either they succeed or they don't. That's it. Conor Benn told Eddie Hearn to his face, I want to step up. I want to fight somebody that's going to fight back. Okay, I want a challenge. Give me Amir Khan. I don't even think he's a challenge, but give me him. Right? He's ready to step up. Eddie Hearn's right there all smug, like, well, I mean, I don't know if he's ready. That's a hell of a step up. Like, well, it's time. He wants to step up. All right? If Virgil wants to fight Crawford, do it. If Boots called out the winner of Spence Ugas and he said, I want that fight.
Let him have it.
He wants to fight. No, but he's so young. I think he should wait another 2-3 years. And then what? And then his moment for greatness is gone because Spence moved up or somebody else beat him?
Yep.
What are you guys saying? If you wait too long, then the champions become too old. There's times to make the fights, all right? The time for everything under the sun, right? Chief Funky, talk to us. Are these guys ready, in your opinion, and what's your overall thoughts on this?
I mean, I think that they think they're ready, no doubt about it. And, who am I to say that they're not, I just think that, these guys probably won't fight them, and I said this right after Boots won on Saturday. I said that if guys like Crawford and Spence, who are the guys at the top of the division right now at welterweight, if they want to get a guy like Ortiz or Boots Ennis, they better do it now because these young dudes, they're coming, and they're coming quick. You better not be trying to wait out like you're trying to do with Spence and Crawford, trying to wait each other out or whatever it is they're doing. They're bullshitting around, sugarfooting around, You better not do that with these young dudes because these young guys are going to come. They're going to take your damn head off, man. And I'll be rooting for them if it happens. Do I think they beat those guys at this point right now? I would probably favor Spence and Crawford right now. But like I said, if they wait any longer, it's going to be over for them. And you guys know that I've been trying to, push for super fights and things like this year. And I think that there's a few that could happen at welterweight. And I want them to happen at welterweight because welterweight is one of the original weight classes in boxing. And it's looking pathetic at this point. Absolutely pathetic. We've heard this crying back and forth about money. Who deserves this? Who deserves that? And these guys are going right along with it. And these guys aren't major stars. That's the thing that really fucks with me is that Spence and Crawford, they're acting like they're Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. When these guys don't sell tickets like that, they don't sell pay-per-views like those guys. Those guys are doing like 1 million buys almost every time, or close to 1 million buys on pay-per-view. These guys haven't come close to that, not even close, and they're acting like this. So now, as far as what you said, D-Style, about some of the young guys getting in there and getting their shot early and then winning, like, yeah, it does happen sometimes. It doesn't happen very often, though, which is why I'm really not a big fan of it. But
well,
I don't put up
it's not for
roadblocks,
everybody, G-Funk.
you know?
That's my
Yeah.
point. Not everyone gets to do it, is my point.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna put up a roadblock. Like some people say, putting up roadblocks. They make any fight, I'm down for it. I'm not gonna be like, I don't want to see this fight. I'll watch them all. But yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it, man. If they want to get them, they better get them now because it's gonna be too late real soon.
Talk to me about this stoppage because it reminded me, a lot of people said it reminded of like when Peter Manfredo from the Contender Series went over to fight Joe Calzaghe and they stopped the fight a bit premature on that occasion as well. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, like the thing is, I didn't even think Samuel Vargas was hurt.
Okay, he was against the ropes and he didn't look hurt to me.
Like
but,
he took a good shot, but he wasn't hurt.
No, it was the fact that he wasn't responding and throwing back. Now, his eyes kind of told a different story. And here I'm going to try to add our boy Ranger from Rob Boxing. I'm so glad you joined us. Of course, I got Philly Irish, and now we got Rob Boxing representing. We're talking about Conor Benn because I wanted to ask the boxing fans, and the lines are starting to blow up a little bit here. Shout out to Andre Rodriguez. Conor Benn. Did he impress you this weekend? I'll start. I already asked Drew a little bit, man, but Ranger, this guy Conor Benn from the UK, American fans don't know too much about him, but he put on quite a show against Samuel Vargas, the Colombian from Toronto, man.
Look, I'll say this about Conor Benn. He impressed me before the fight. He impressed me on the face-off when he spoke Spanish, my man. Like, I didn't even know this dude spoke Spanish, my man. He takes off that mask and he's like, yo no tengo miedo a pelear con nadie. Yo estoy listo para una guerra. And his opponent was like, oh no, I'm not talking about fear here. I think Conor Benn destroyed the dude psychologically on the face-off to begin with. And then on top of that, you add the fact that the dude came into that fight, went to work immediately, and took him out of there. Says a lot, says about the hunger. But another thing that impressed me the most about Conor Benn is his post-fight. He obviously showed the sportsmanship, but his post-fight interview. Many people want to say he's cocky. This is not cocky. This is a man that was brutally honest and said, look, y'all keep talking about a step up. It doesn't feel like a step up. I learned nothing from this fight. Give me tougher opposition. Give me Amir Khan. Give me tougher names. That's what you want on an up-and-coming fighter. Because the young bloods we got today, they want the bag, but they don't want the test. We got this dude asking for the test, right? You haven't heard Conor Benn talk about money. He's talking about give me tougher opposition. That's what I want to see him on an up-and-coming fighter, and I'm high on the dude.
Yeah, Drew, I don't know if you saw this face-off, but he speaks pretty damn fluent Spanish, and one of the criticisms that Virgil Ortiz got in his last performance is the fact that people kind of find out that Virgil Ortiz isn't very fluent in Spanish, and he's a little bit embarrassed about it, and he seems to be willing to be working on it. you know, as a Chicano from Texas, he's working on his Spanish. But here you got Conor Benn, a guy from across the pond, and he's talking shit to Samuel Vargas in his own language. I think even Samuel Vargas wasn't prepared for that. But I want to note, Drew, he called out Amir Khan. We're talking about tough tests. Amir Khan has got one of the biggest profile names in the UK. And he also called out Adrian Broner. Are either of these tests, is this a step up in competition? Really, is it really a step up in competition, or is it just a big name that he wants on his resume right now?
Well, it is up in competition, but the question is going to take that big question. I don't think Amir Khan's going to take this fight because he knows if he loses to Conor Benn, his career is most likely over. And if Adrian Broner takes this fight, he knows he loses Conor Benn, his career is most likely over also. He's probably going to be fighting Bruce Ennis next anyway, Adrian Broner. So
Drew's
good
kind
that he's calling out names.
Yeah.
But at this time, these are not going to take.
So I do apologize. Drew, you were freezing up just a bit.
Because they.
Yeah, Drew using
Yeah,
that Taco Bell internet.
Now he stepped up his internet game, but some of that was truncated a little bit on the audio quality. You did mention that Boots Ennis is already, the rumors are flying around that AB will fight him, but I kind of find both Amir Khan and AB saying they're not gatekeepers, right? They got way too much prestige to lose to take on this fight with now all of a sudden I'm thinking Conor Benn is dangerous. He's a dangerous opponent for any of these top guys, not only because he's explosive, but I mean, you have a lot to lose. Like you said, Amir Khan is looking for a big cash out payday against Kell Brook. And that's a fight I think most UK fans still want to see. I do have a caller that wants to chime in, I think, on this fight with Conor Benn, so we'll take this call. Hey, 562, you're on the shoe shine.
Hey, what's going on, Dave? Thank you for taking my call. My name is Meat Truck Mike. I am a huge fan of the shoe shine.
Well, I appreciate that, Meat Truck Mike. Now, did you catch this fight we're talking about, this guy Conor Benn? People think he may be a future opponent, someone that could beat Errol Spence or Bud Crawford, Terrence Crawford.
You know, Earl Spence is a little bit of a reach, in my opinion. But let me tell you about this Conor Benn. I'm excited. He's exciting. I love his hair. Those cornrows. Did you see that shit? I felt like I was in the fucking Dominican Republic. He had 2 Mexican bitches. I don't know if they were his mom, his girlfriend, his daughter, but that's the shit I want to see. Tattoos, a big red cross. That got me excited. You do not want to fuck with the guy who has 2 different women tattooed on his chest. Who's allowed to do that? Now, this motherfucker's hands, not only were they fast, but they were fierce. That uppercut was nasty.
Yeah, there was a nasty
God
punches.
That fucking referee. Dave, thank God that referee stopped the fight. I'm glad Drew Evo's not in anybody's corner over there because he doesn't know shit about boxing, and it seems like he's chewing on the Ethernet cord. I can't even hear him. I don't know what he's doing over there. He looks like an overweight Jake Paul.
No, let's not do that.
No. Well, me trying to I appreciate. Go ahead, Drew. He's got the internet now.
I can't hear him. Can't hear him. He sounds like a robot.
I saw him old ass pick up Mike, and he's a fat motherfucker, I gotta say. And now, how the hell did he lose weight? I don't want to get a copyright strike. I don't want to embarrass the kid anyway, man, because if I embarrass the kid, he might not want to watch the show anymore, Dave. Because I know he's your boy.
No, we want to keep the conversation civil. Yeah, it's all fun and games, but we don't want to go with the personal route.
I think he needs this because he wants to make me look good. Because he's making me look good because he keeps talking about me.
Oh my God!
Like he's on my jock or something.
Oh my! All right, let's move on with the show. It is a live call. We don't know what we're going to get when you open up the phone lines. So I do appreciate the call. He did have some comments about the performance and the punches and that they were vicious. So again, I'm asking the chat: should Virgil Ortiz be concerned about this up and coming star, or is this a fight that Virgil Ortiz should be chomping at the bits since he's at the zone? And it's a very makeable fight with Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya. We know they have a good working relationship. Should Virgil Ortiz be concerned, or should he be eager to take a fight with someone like Conor Benn?
Well, it's going to be sunny. Boxing hasn't given us a lot of sunny days, guys.
Nope.
I have news for you. It's been rainy. It's been a little rainy. I'm not supposed to report the rain. God. So, I know that, oh, gee, Teddy's giving love to the UFC. Teddy's betraying us. I ain't betraying no one. I never betrayed no one. I'm not about to start it now at this point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But if you're putting on a lot of fights over the last months on whether it was ESPN, wherever the heck it's been, they were the first ones out with the fight, and they were all spawn sessions, and UFC's putting on fights that are fights.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to say? Not say it, and not say that I'm interested in it, and I appreciate the competitiveness that they're giving us. Damn right, I'm going to say it. And part of it is for you knuckleheads that you're aware, that you know to get an umbrella when you walk out, so you don't get rained on.
So, according to Teddy, we've been getting rained on as boxing fans. According to Teddy, his weather forecast is really bad, kind of like it is right now in New York City. Rainy, maybe there's some snow on the horizon. Look, is every fight in boxing a great fight? Absolutely not. Is every fight a bad fight? No, that's not true. But I don't think there's any difference out there in the UFC. I mean, we've had some really good fights so far this year, and we're only in the month of April. I mean, just off the top of my head, there's obviously Bercel Valdez. That was a great fight. There's obviously Chocolatito Estrada. That was a great fight. Matter of fact, I was entertained by the cards last week with Conor Benn, with Boots Solarplex. Even the fights that were a little less competitive were still exciting, So what are your thoughts on that, Kenny? You got your umbrella out as a boxing fan, or what's good?
Well, first of all, I think that Teddy Atlas is super disrespectful. What you mean, knucklehead? Old man talking shit. Fuck out of here, bro. Excuse my language. It's like he's full of himself. Dude called himself the weatherman, calling out the weather. Like, whoa. I think he's full of shit. For him, it's all about the money. He said that he's not going to betray the people. The only person that he's not betraying is himself, because he's still self-centered and thinking only about himself and the money. MMA has such a little amount of fighters next to the amount of fighters that boxing has. I don't see where the rankings are at MMA. I just see guys who are hyped up versus guys who are hyped up, and there being like one or two actual great fighters in every division. This goes for the girls as well. This goes for the guys as well. Not everybody's as great as they make it seem. So if you have let's say 10 fighters, all of which you see all the time in a year, and these 10 fighters are ranked up, and top number 1 through 5 are considered your stars. Aren't your stars, or aren't the best always going to fight the best if you only got 10 fighters and 5 of them are going to be fighting each other constantly? Aren't they always going to fight the best? That's the way I see it. It's not like, I don't really see the ranking system. I don't really see besides the popularity contest, I don't really see in MMA how one climbs up the ranks and gets recognized as a great, besides talking shit like Conor McGregor or Aldo or the rest of these guys that are good at the mouth.
No, absolutely, Kenny. You're absolutely right. And what a lot of people don't seem to realize as well is that MMA is actually not a monopoly. UFC is not the only game in town. And the fact is, Dana White has never allowed his fighters to take on fighters that fight with other promotions. They want to talk about the street. And those of you listening across the Leave It in the Ring radio network and who aren't with us live on YouTube wouldn't have seen me do the little air quotes there as I said, the street. But there are multiple streets in MMA. You've got UFC, you've got One Championship, you've got Ryzen, you've got Bellator. And believe it or not, and I'll just give you an example right here, right? We only really hear about the UFC because they're the ones with the big deal with ESPN and they get a lot of media attention. But if you just look here, according to rankingmma.com, you go to the light heavyweight division, There's a guy in there, Vadim Nedkov, who's ranked as a highly rated fighter, right? He's in the top 5 in the world. Okay, and guess what? I think he'd probably be higher if he was in the UFC, right? You've got a guy named Ryan Bader. He's top 10 in the world. Matter of fact, 7, 8, and 9 of the top 10 light heavyweights in MMA are not with the UFC, including a top 5 fighter, right? And there are other divisions where this is the case as well, right? It's not just UFC out there, guys. So if you really want to see a top rank championship of the world and a PBC championship of the world and a Matchroom championship of the world, well, the UFC is the way to go, I guess. But that's not what I want to see. And the other thing I don't want to see is a situation where promoters are taking 80% of profit and sharing that with the fighter in the terms of 20% or less. Is that the model that we want to see our boxers? We want to see our boxers getting minimum income like they do in the UFC? Or again, I'm going to share another ranking from MMAWorldRankings.com. You go to their, this is their flyweight ranking. They got a guy here at number 1 who's with the UFC, right? His name is Devilson Figueiredo. I believe he's Brazilian. You go to number 2 and number 3 in the top 5, and you've got 2 guys fighting with 1 championship. You got Adriano Moraes and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Again, the UFC does not have MMA on lock, guys. All right. Now, in some divisions they do, but not in all. But that's no different than promoters in boxing who focus on a division, right, and dominate that division. So it's total bullshit. And I would expect a guy like Teddy Atlas to understand that. You know, he's a boxing guy. He's been in the game for a while. Maybe he's new to MMA, so he's not necessarily knowing what I just figured out in a 2-minute Google search.
We really don't got anywhere else to go. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of pickings in that division or any of the divisions of the women. They have to pretty much go who's available and what's next for them. You know, they don't have the choices that the men have, which is pick and choose, or to play the game of you need to cross the street or I need to go across the street. Right? Yeah,
That's pretty much it. I mean, there is no street really when you think about it with women's boxing. I mean, the street is wherever I can get a body to get in front of me to get a fight. So
right.
Yeah. So let's move on to Ennis, Boots Ennis. Actually, before that, why don't we discuss the Jerwin Ancajas Rodriguez fight? Because I thought Ancajas showed a lot of different levels and facets to his game. He boxed, he traded, he showed he has power, he showed he has can box off the back foot. I was very impressed by his performance, but I mean, I went into this fight really respecting the dude. Great champion.
You weren't impressed by him last time, though, if I remember correct, right?
No.
Yeah, I remember you weren't impressed. I don't think anybody was. You know, a lot of folks were kind of labeling him to be boring.
But that's actually not true. I was actually saying that Ancajas was good, and Nando was in the chat disagreeing with me that Ancajas to him was boring because if you remember correctly, you guys had said that he'd fought up in the Bay Area. You remember that?
Right.
And I was like, whoa, I didn't see that fight that you guys are talking about, but I thought Ancajas is good. And I actually was calling for, before this fight, Ancajas to take on Ioka, and that
Ioka, right,
should take on the winner of Chocolatito and Estrada. Now, those two are running it back, but, you know.
Well, I mean, to be fair, though, Ancajas has not given the performance that he did on Saturday night, the way he looked, you know, to be fair, because he's kind of had that skill that he's going to make everybody just not look like they're in the fight. With this fight on Saturday, it was a tug of war. He had to really dig deep, and it was a great fight between the two. You know, Rodriguez, I mean, he put up a show, and he showed that, you know what, I'm just not here to collect a check, but also if I win or lose, I hope the fans want to see me again. And guess what? He walked away with me saying, I want to see you again.
Yeah, there was a point in the fight where it seemed as if even his corner was questioning whether he should continue. I believe it was after the 8th round. And they were having discussions and they're asking him if he wanted to go on. He's like, fuck yeah, I want to go on. And then he went on the fight with cojones, as they say, for the rest of the fight. And I like it. Like Andre, shout out to Andre in the chat. Like he did take it to him. Like they left it all in the ring. It was literally leave it in the ring on Saturday night in that fight. And yeah, sign me up for him against Cuadras. Sign me up for him against Sor Rungvisai or anybody of the other big names at 115 pounds. I definitely want to see him again. That's for sure.
You know, it's crazy because fights like this is what makes fans forget about the loss. You always remembered from your last fight, and this kid Rodriguez is walking away. What a loss, but what really a win because fans want to see him again, you know, whereas, you know, the other divisions where they're doing a lot of picking and choosing and, you know, a lot of nonsense, you know, nobody's actually getting in the ring and wanting to leave it in the ring, right? Whereas the flyweights and super flyweights, the lower weight divisions, they're all so stacked. You know, I mean, they're really the glory divisions right now at this moment. And guess what? None of them are playing these little tricks. None of them is playing these little mind games and talking about, well, I want this and who's the A and who's the B, who's the B. They're pretty much leaving that decision in the ring. And it's a ring robin, and it's a chance to really be a carousel where everybody's going at it once over and over. And that what makes this lower division so special. Too bad the networks haven't caught up to it. You know, not everybody in networks have caught up to it. A lot of these guys should be headlining. A lot of these guys should have more limelight and have more media all over them, you know, to cover them and talk about them. Because just like me and you, Milcar, we've been excited about this division, both of those divisions right now.
100%. I mean, there's a name that I could have also mentioned, Kosei Tanaka. I mean, I'd love to see him fight him. I mean, there's so many options here at 115 pounds that are worth exploring. And the demands of the fighters at this weight class are just not what they are of, you know, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder, or you even go lower to the fucking welterweights, like they're not fighting each other, you know?
No, it's really strange too, man. It just seems like it's got worse and worse. You know, everybody wants to play the fiddle. And nobody wants to get on the dance floor, you know, and that's why, you know, these little guys, they're really keeping the spirit and they're keeping the blood flowing through the fight fans that want to continue to watch the sport because they're the only ones that are willing to lace up and get in there and duke it out.
100%. And just want to shout out all of the people that are joining us here live. Bunch of people. We got Toby Bartlett, Neon Eyes, Bruce Goes, Chen Smoke, I Buy Houses, London Left Hook, my man out there from the UK. Jose Yepes is in the house. Outlaw always, my brother Haplotype in the building. Still waiting for you to drop knowledge about Joe Calzaghe. You know, there's a lot of Joe Calzaghe haters out there. You're definitely not one of them, and you're debunking those stereotypes. Cruzito G is in the house. So guys, keep it going. Subscribe. I got the channel in the chat there. Like and subscribe, share this, and the phone lines are open. Area code 718-618.
And we went to like left and never
No.
landed.
Well, it's if it goes left, it goes left. But we can always get back in the main road. It's all good.
I want to ask him something now. Since we're on the new media topic now. You do like Dante's Boxing Nation, though, right? You watch him. You subscribe to him.
I watch a lot of people. I watch a lot of people. Point blank. Period.
But
I
you
do watch some
Dante,
Dante,
right?
but I'm not like. I watch a little bit of everybody. I watch Showbiz. If you watch Showbiz, you know Showbiz goes completely against.
I want to play you a clip.
Dante.
I want to play you a clip here from Dante, and I want to get your thoughts on it. So,
okay,
let me know if you can hear it. I'm gonna play it for you. Here you go.
Another reason why we know that that's a knuckle and not the palm of his hand, because if you've boxed before, then you would know that when you put wraps on, your whole palm is covered. You're not going to see skin. You're going to only see the color of the wrap.
Do you agree with that statement? Or that claim, I should say?
What I agree with is I can't really say yeah or nay to that statement. You know, that's a small clip. I believe in those photos though, especially when everyone said no, they're Photoshop. Those aren't real photos.
If you don't mind me asking you, I just really quick, and I'm gonna let you continue. But can you tell me? Can you kind of elaborate on us? What did Dante say there? Well, what is he insinuating or saying in that statement that you heard?
He's insinuating that his hand is lower in the glove, similar to something that he got caught doing in a live fight. He's insinuating something that he's actually done in the ring before.
That he's actually done in the ring?
No, but okay, let me help him out. Okay.
The ref had to stop the fight, and he had to get his glove.
Whoa. I just want to talk about that one statement really quick, because actually in that fight, from my understanding, his corner told the ref, "Hey, there's something up with his glove. Let's replace it." But that's
not what happened. The ref grabbed the glove.
Let's say that didn't happen.
That did not happen
hold
like
on.
that.
Whoa. Can you stop for a second? Let's say that didn't happen. It's irrelevant. Dante Boxing said, this is what he said. We know it's the knuckles because we know that the palm is covered by tape. Okay? Is that a factual statement? Are all palms covered by tape?
Listen, I came here to talk to you guys. I'm not Dante. I can't speak for Dante. Y'all need to get Dante on the mic.
No, but is that
I can't answer for Dante.
Your understanding is what I'm asking you.
I told you what I thought. I told you he was insinuating that the glove wasn't. Huh?
I just asked you if you agreed with that claim that when any fighter gets their hand wrapped for a fight, that the whole palm is covered. That's all I asked you.
I'm not. That is not my level of expertise. I am not a glove wrapping expert. I don't do that for a living.
Okay, so let's do this, because this is what we do on ATP. We educate. So go ahead and educate him, J Funky.
I'll tell you this, man. Every time, and I mean every time, you see a fighter get his hands wrapped for a fight, the palm is always exposed. Every single time. We could look at photos of just about any fighter. We could look at Deontay Wilder after a fight and he has his gloves off. The palm is exposed. It's a false narrative is what Dante was trying to create there.
So I have a question. You brought me up here. We discussed what the topic of conversation was going to be. Now you got me up here speaking for Dante's Boxing Nation.
No, I'm not telling you to speak for him. I'm just asking you
to I asked you multiple times what the subject matter is going to be. I'm explaining. I'm going based on what we said we were going to talk about. Now I'm up here identifying with another brother when maybe y'all should y'all should have a single words. You got me speaking for a man and answering for a man, agreeing with a man. And what part of the game is that?
Let me ask you this.
Stop acting like we're victimizing you, like we're attacking you. We're not doing any of that, brother.
I got multiple people coming at me from all sides on something that's not even the top of the conversation.
Well, I'll tell you this.
A general topic, bro. Like, what do you mean?
I'll tell you this, man.
I can't answer for Dante's Boxing Nation, bro. I can't answer for anybody on Black Media Row. I can only answer for me. And what
I'm not asking you to speak for Dante. I just asked you if you agreed with that claim that he made. That's it. I didn't say.
I agree that something was up with those gloves. I've been watching. I'm not a hand wrapping expert. Those gloves, I should not be able to see the outlines of his fingers. And if you look at the argument saying that was Photoshop, and they had to go to prove that photo was real, by saying that photo is Photoshop and everyone putting that out there, they obviously agree that something is inherently wrong with that glove, because they wouldn't have been saying that. And then when they found out that the pictures were actually legitimate and certified, they steered the narrative.
You know why? First of all, at least I never said that most of the pictures were Photoshop. The reason you were seeing those lines on the glove, one is when you take a leather glove with padding in it and you squeeze it in between the arm. Don't shake your head. No, you don't know what I'm going to say. Is you're gonna wrinkle the leather. That's one. Right? You're going to create some type of wrinkle in there, some type of wave effect. We've seen it on the Charlo brothers, on the Jamal Charlo. We've seen it. We've seen it, I believe, on a fight with Sean Porter. It's a frame-by-frame action. I can go through every boxing match, frame by frame, and I can find you similarities in every single boxer's glove throughout the entire fight. And the loose glove situation, Oh, there you go. Well, he can't see it. He can't see it. G Funky. Remember, he can't see it.
I can't see shit. I can't see y'all talking to me.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to see that. He's not going to be able to see that. And another thing is the loose glove, the slapping, and all of those. And I can show you pictures of a lot of slick boxers that do it. I can show you pictures.
I know Canelo does that for a fact. I know there's guys that do that, but I need you to show what I need you to show me is a photo of any other boxer, any still, you could just show me a legitimate photo of anything similar of that still any of that in boxing history.
We wish you
show me that.
We wish you could see us so that you could see the pictures.
Yeah, I could show you, but you can't see the screen. So
I can't see shit. I can't.
I know. That's why.
I'll do this then, man. I'll send you the link.
But back,
the email.
But back to what I was saying. Back to what I was saying is I don't care about none of that. If you think you can beat the man, or you know you can beat the man, just fight him. Why does it have to come to this? We shouldn't even be arguing about this shit. They should have had the fight. Somebody should have got their money, like old school folks did. Go get the fight. If you whoop his ass again. Get your 30 mil, and go fight Joshua or whoever wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Like, I don't know. We have to complicate this because it becomes almost like a gossip session. I got too much shit going on to be that complicated about. I just want to see the fucking fight. I want to see who wins. And if it's supposed to be a trilogy, COVID was a black swan event that no one could have predicted. It's like the sky falling and going, and then we go, oh, screw that. We didn't count for the sky falling on the. Just make the fight happen. I don't care about the riffraff. I don't care.
Correct.
You can beat them.
Neither do I. You know who does care? The people that are going to hold you responsible for what's on paper. And that's where you have to make the separation. One is our opinion as boxing fans, because just like you, I want to see a fight. But then the other one is, as a boxer, you make certain business move. And then you're only obligated based on what's on paper. That's just it. I mean, you move stocks, you trade, you do.
I wouldn't walk away from $30 million when I don't have shit else to do. And I don't think anybody with common sense would either.
No, but he does.
That's common sense.
I mean, he's getting ready to fight for a lot of money right now.
Brother, what do you mean he has nothing to do?
Undisputed. Right now.
What's the fight date? And where's the venue?
That's not the point.
Right now.
Are they out of arbitration? Has it been ruled?
Okay, Wilder hasn't fought either, so Fury not fighting isn't anything. What we're saying is the following. Hold on,
has arbitration been ruled on or what?
Hold up. One, for the people saying they never seen a glove flap like that, I have footage of Devin Haney's flopping like that. Okay, so anyone that wants something, all you got to do is ask. But no, hold on. I'm addressing somebody in the chat. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Okay, I'm just addressing somebody in the chat saying they never saw a glove flop like that. Okay, but this is what I'm saying. You're saying, hey, if it's so easy to do it, just do it again, beat him again in the third fight. You know, if it's that easy, Fury, then do it. But what you're insinuating is, no, hold on, let me finish. What you're insinuating is, okay, that he's scared to fight him. That's insinuation because he cheated that second time, and this time they're going to check the gloves, they're going to check everything. Okay, and they're going to make sure that no water is spiked. I don't know if you're saying that, but a lot of people are saying that.
You just said I said that.
We're going to make sure that none of that happens.
You just said I'm going to let you talk.
Well, look, you're going to talk after I talk, but let me finish.
But don't insinuate something that I didn't say.
No. Okay, I literally said you didn't say that, dude. Just listen.
You said I insinuated. I didn't.
No, hold on. Can you just let me finish? I would have been finished already. Okay, just listen to what I'm saying.
Talk fair.
All right, cool. After I speak, you will speak uninterrupted. It's all good. Okay. I literally said, I know you didn't say that about the spike of the water. Okay. I know that. I know you didn't physically. I don't know if you believe that or not. Okay. But the belief is, okay, the belief is by some that Tyson Fury cheated. Okay. And other than if it's not, hey, if you have nothing to hide, if you didn't cheat the second time and you beat him fair and square, like for real and legit, other than that, what are you trying to say? Like when you make, like, what are you insinuating? If it's not that, can you just answer that?
I'm saying fight the man for $30 million.
Why not?
Do the trilogy. What's the problem? If it's easy work, it's easy work. What I'm saying is, if it makes logical sense. Are you guys following me when I talk about logic? If something is easy to do and it makes monetary sense,
why do you
it's
think
a good
he's not
chance.
doing it?
I don't, just like I don't know why I have no clue why he's not fighting him. And don't say because he's trying to go for undisputed. Like I said, I asked a question, it went unanswered. I asked you, is arbitration over yet? And then someone started talking about gloves and stuff and all that. I can't see who, because I can't see. But I asked you, is arbitration over yet? And did it rule in their favor?
We're not the promoters. We're not the promoters. We're not the lawyers. So we don't know that. We can't answer that question.
Any of this, so when you say he's fighting for a legacy and he's about to have his fight, you don't know. You don't know. I don't know. We don't know. That's
And
why
you don't know if Wilder really
happen.
wants to fight.
Hold on.
You don't know that.
Well, let me ask him this. Let me ask him this. So, if arbitration is blocking Fury from fighting Anthony Joshua, then how come we haven't heard any news about Wilder's next fight with Fury? We have heard nothing from Wilder. Why is that?
Because you have Hearn. Look, you got Hearn over here. Hearn's a businessman. He's good at hyping stuff up. If you look at the whole Wilder, before there was a Wilder Fury, there was a Wilder AJ, and we spent a long time speculating on this Wilder AJ, and Wilder giving AJ $50 million, and it not happening, and so that's just kind of Hearn's nature. He's gonna get that buzz going. That's who he is. But what did Fury's father say?
What do you mean?
You're talking about the IFL interview where he said that that nothing's been done yet. That's what you're referring to,
right?
But
so that's
is IFL old media or new media?
So I can see that. Here's the deal: arbitration will not stop this fight. That's one. Okay. The other one. In the same sense that you're saying, Fury, he should have gone and gotten this easy money, right? That's what you're saying, right? Correct, right? I agree. Okay, cool. So here's the deal.
Do you agree?
I just told you that's cool. That's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just literally said that. So here's the question: why in the world hasn't Deontay Wilder gotten some easy money throughout this whole year? Because to me, Deontay Wilder has an easy fight with anybody outside of the top 5 of the heavyweight division. So in this whole entire year, we're putting Fury's head on a platter because he's not trying to go after no easy money. Well, why haven't we seen Deontay Wilder not even on a training section? And I literally had this argument with a member of his team in my channel, right? Mm-hmm. Where all they can tell me is, oh, yeah, we got the footages, but nobody's shown Deontay's missing. There's missing signs for him, okay? So he hasn't gotten after no easy money either. What I'm telling you is not something I came up with. It came out of the mouth of somebody of his own team.
I got a question for you real quick. I'll answer that. But there's nobody else Wilder can fight for that amount of money, one. Two, Dillian White don't push. Get out of here with that. Two, one person has his belt. Dillian White ain't moving no numbers like that. Don't nobody care about Dillian White getting knocked out by a 41-year-old man.
Deontay Wilder? Well, first of all, I'm going to stop you there. I haven't told you to get out of here, none of that stuff. Let's keep it.
But you're saying Dillian White is an equal fight, and it's not.
Here's my question. Is Deontay Wilder going to make his guaranteed $20 million?
I don't know. You don't know about arbitration. I don't know if he's going to make $20 million against Dillian.
I just told you his guarantee. I just told you the answer. Is he going to make his guaranteed $20 million against White? Yes, he's going to. So it doesn't matter if Dillian White moves the numbers or not. Wilder's still going to make his money. That's the easy money.
Chat. Right? Speaking of the shoe shine, Dave from 408. So they're saying they agreed to a site, but we still don't got to fight, though. What are your thoughts?
All right, Tyson Fury is already in training camp and looking phenomenal. You guys take a look at how thin he is. I mean, he's like at the perfect fighting weight, right? He's with Billy Joe Saunders. He's with Eddie Hearn in Las Vegas this week, taking pictures with Dana White. Something's cooking. All right, Dana White announced today, July 10th, that happens to be the day before my wedding anniversary. Tickets go on sale for the trilogy between Conor McGregor, and it's going to be a full house at the T-Mobile Arena. I've heard Tyson Fury say that he wants to be one of the first people to christen the Raiders Stadium. So I'm not so entirely sure that that's off the table as a venue, because despite the fact that no British fans would be able to come if they schedule it this year, I really think that they can stage a mega fight in Las Vegas this summer. So I'm actually thinking that that might be a possibility. And by the way, guys, I had my second COVID shot this morning. I might be a little bit off today, but I'm really irked about another fight. And I just want to say this. I had a full intention to see Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor. That fight hasn't been, there's no venue for it in Las Vegas. There's no tickets. And meanwhile, Linares versus Haney, tickets for that already went on sale in Las Vegas. And tomorrow, you got the UFC looking to sell out all the tickets for this trilogy. Something's happening at Top Rank.
Okay, all right. But you're looking like vibrant, though. You're looking good. You're good. You're even matching with the color of the background.
You guys should be promoters. You guys should be promoters. You're in the wrong business. You should be promoters, all you guys. Doing a better job than Eddie Hearn talking this fight up. Devastating Dave and dangerous D.
Milcar, talk to us. So they agreed to a site, but they don't want to tell us the site.
I think the issue here is that there are a number of challenges that are kind of working concurrently to put a roadblock on things progressing. And I agree with a lot of what Joe has said. I was actually on a live with Joe Sunday. Shout out to Live. I think Raphael Dawkins was on there too. And we were discussing this. And Joe and I were essentially agreeing on most things, I think. D. Jefferson, I agree with one thing you said, which is that the goal here is a $500 million fight. The problem is what Joe said, it's COVID. And the other problem with that is TV. Now, a lot of people may not realize this, but the last AJ fight with the huge site fee was obviously Saudi Arabia, but that was not on pay-per-view. It was on pay-per-view in the UK, but the times did not work out well for it to be a pay-per-view fight in the United States. And it's the United States that charges $90 per pay-per-view order. It's the United States that, as a country with 330 million people, that even if you get a sliver of that, watching a fight at $80 or $90 a pop generates tons of money. You put that fight in Saudi Arabia, what happens is it now becomes an evening primetime fight moving to an afternoon fight that doesn't necessarily translate to big numbers on pay-per-view. So again, with COVID, the challenge there is, like what Dave said, ideally for the US market and the big pay-per-view sales over here, what you'd want to do is to put it in the Raiders Stadium in Vegas, right? Sell super highly priced ringside seats and fill it with a bunch of other people up in the nosebleeds and everywhere else. But the problem with that, again, bringing it back to what Joe said, is the COVID-19 pandemic. They are still not filling venues with a lot of people. Like we just saw March Madness that usually takes place in like a football stadium converted to a basketball stadium. It wasn't happening for March Madness. Today in class, I was going over the NCAA volleyball tournament in one of my senior elective courses, which is a volleyball class. They're literally doing that in a convention center with no crowds, right? We're just not in the environment right now in the United States that would allow for a $500 million fight. And that is what I think Eddie Hearn is waiting for. This is a cash out opportunity for Matchroom. Because if AJ loses and loses twice, like his status as a premier ticket seller in the sport, he ain't going to be filling up Wembley anymore with 2 losses to Anthony Joshua. So they need to maximize revenue for this. And I'll just leave it at that.
The You never will.
He was two-time world champ.
Fighter than Kodo.
Nothing gonna do with it.
Yeah,
I ain't got it.